Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the Bring Your ETHDenver 2024 side event on-chain webinar. I am Chris Carvey. I head up marketing at Unlock Protocol and wanted to share some thoughts with everybody. So thank you very much for being here. We've got a number of different things that we are going to cover. We're going to give a very quick overview of Unlock Protocol. I'm going to talk a little bit about why to actually bring events on chain. I'm going to go through a detailed example of actually how to bring an event online with Unlock. I'm going to show through some of the things about the attendee experience, and then we'll talk a little bit about post-event engagement and share a number of resources with everybody. Just want to do a quick check-in in the chat. If you can give me a thumbs up, just want to make sure that sound is okay before we dive in. If somebody can give me a thumbs up right on. Sweet. Thanks, Miro. Appreciate it. So what we want to do is excellent. Thanks, Stella. What we want to do is kind of dive into things. So again, Chris Carfey, I head up marketing for Unlock Protocol, and I'm part of the Unlock Labs core team. I've been with a number of different startups, headed up global content and community for GoDaddy for a number of years. Come from an engineering background, somehow passed through product management and currently running marketing organizations. And if anybody does want to reach out, I am C. Carfey on all the things. And let's just do a quick overview of what is Unlock Protocol. So Unlock Protocol is a system to create memberships on chain, and it runs across a number of different EVM chains. So anything that feels like a membership or a subscription on chain, Unlock is the tool that you can plug into any system that you're working on in order to do that. So that's memberships, that's subscriptions, that's ticketing, token gating, Web3 gaming, certifications on chain, any of those things that feel like memberships. Unlock is a way to get up and running very quickly and manage all of those kinds of capabilities for membership definition, membership access, and being able to make sure that you've got connections with your various members and subscribers. It's an open source protocol. It's community governed. A number of members of the DAO here on the call with us today that I can see. Project's been around since 2018. So been doing this for a while, have figured out a lot of the hard stuff in the technology between then and now. So with Unlock, again, the key use cases that folks can tap into, everything from event ticketing, recurring subscriptions, memberships, certifications, loyalty programs, gaming, a host of other things. And again, for the sake of this particular webinar, what we're going to be really focusing on is event ticketing and attendance NFTs. So even if you want to just give someone a commemorative, recognition that they were at an event and then be able to use that to give them access to other things going forward, then you're able to do that with Unlock. So talking through event ticketing, why this matters, what this is. It is a critical part of bringing people on chain. So if you're doing a side event at ETHDenver or one of the other, dozens or hundreds of other events and side events that are happening in the Web3 space throughout the rest of 2024, you really want to be bringing those folks on chain. You want to do your ticketing on chain. This is important because we need to be using the technology that we are trying to build. And not only that, it gives you, the event organizer, end-to-end control of ticket distribution. So if it is, for example, a paid event, you can determine whether those tickets are transferable or not. Some people call that being soul-bound or not. You can determine if you want to do things like affiliate revenue for people who are promoting your event, if it's a paid event. These tickets also, since they are at their core membership cards, give the opportunity to have interoperable experiences before, during, and after the event. Anybody that has that ticket, you know who they are, and provably you know if they were at the event or at least registered for it. And those tickets really do become membership cards for the community, and not last but not least, if it is a paid event and it is ticketed on chain, 100% of that revenue goes to the event organizer. So these are some of the things to think about with respect to event ticketing. Unlock really has become the standard for ticketing Web3 events. So if we look at a number of the different events that we have done over the last year or so, there are a number of these things. So if we look up Lab Week by Protocol Labs, this was at the Istanbul event last fall. They did dozens and dozens and dozens of side events around DevConnect Istanbul that were ticketed using Unlock. Last year at ETHDenver, we had a big activation with Arbitrum at the Shake Shack. DAppCon for the last, I think, 3 years has used Unlock for their ticketing. Other things like ETH Taipei, the Women in Web3 group based out of Austin, Texas, folks over at Spruce, Ethereum Mexico, Metacartel, many, many, many others are using Unlock for their ticketing. And so it is, it's proven, and want to show you how to set things up for yourselves. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to go through and do a live setup here. And there is a shorter version of this on YouTube as well. So if you do need to refer back to it, you can certainly do that. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go through and I'm going to switch screens. And what we're going to do is we're going to jump here and then jump forward real quick. And what we're going to do is jump over to here. So the way to get this set up using Unlock is to do the following. So the first thing you do is you go to events.unlock-protocol.com, and going there really starts your journey to set up an event. And again, you should be able to do this in just 5 or 10 minutes or so. A little bit more background on the experience and such there. But if you click on any of these Get Started buttons, you will end up at a page that looks very much like this. And this is all you need to do in order to set up the event. I'm going to walk through some of the things that you'll need to have ready beforehand for the event. And we'll actually go through and we will set up a test event here. So obviously you need to know what your event name is going to be, description for it, what network you want to have on, you want to use for the event. Would not recommend doing it on mainnet, but as you know, probably Unlock is on over a dozen other EVM networks at this point. So Arbitrum, Base, Optimism, Polygon, Gnosis, and the like. We're going to do this one on Gurley. If you have a visual for your NFT ticket, I would absolutely encourage you to upload that as well, and we'll do that as part of this. Any square image will work for that. You'll need to have your date, time, location, time zone, and such set up for that. And then whether this is a free event or not, you'll be able to set that up here as well. And these are just the basics that you need in order to get things set up. So let's actually go through and do one of these. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select an image file here. And this is going to be the image that we actually use for our ticket. So we have that. Our event name is going to be our ETHDenver side event. And just going to make this prettified. Get that set up. And so that's going to be the name of our event. We need a description for the event. So I've got that set up already. So we're going to put that in there as well. And got all those things set up. And then, as I said, we're going to do this on Gurley because it is an example and a test. We're going to set up the location, date, and time for this. So we're going to do this during ETHDenver. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, and I know ETHDenver is the end of February, so we're going to do that. And let's say it's at 5 p.m. And ending the same date, we're going to go till 9 o'clock p.m. as well. And got all the different time zones in here. So we're going go up, and we're going to set this one up for Denver. As far as the location, we're going to do this at a venue in Denver. So we've got that set up. And boom, there we go. The system automatically does all of the right stuff to get the mapping set up and such. This is an in-person event. You can also do this as a virtual event if you want to, and that is something that all of you probably did as part of getting the information for this webinar that you're on right now. So instead of in person for this webinar, set it up using the same system, but I just pointed at a Zoom link for that. As far as price and capacity, if it's a side event, it's probably free. If you are doing a paid event, though, you can do that. You can set what the amount is, and then you can also set what the various currency is for payment. You can set up using any of the major cryptocurrencies. You can actually put in any ERC20 contract addressed for payment as well. So if you have an ERC20 that is the token for a particular DAO or things like that, and you want people to use that as their currency to get a ticket purchased, they can do that as well. And then you can also set the capacity of the event. So you could set it to 250. You can set it to 50, you can set it to whatever you want, or you can make it unlimited. So with that, let's just do a quick check. We've got the name of the event. We've got the description of the event. We know what network it's on. We've got a spiffy little image for it. We've got all the event details set up as well, location and time. The map did the right thing. This is going to be a free side event, and we're going to cap the capacity at 50. Again, can do anything you want. So now what we're going to do is we are going to say, create your event, and this is going to pop up a quick signature for me here. So I'm going to confirm that. And again, we're doing this on chain. So I know from experience, it takes probably a minute or so for it to actually mint the smart contract or create the smart contract and deploy that. While it is doing that, and it looks like it's done already, Alex, I do see you have a question. Thank you. And it says, if you're using the USDC, can you use a credit card purchase processor? Is that not available in the GUI builder? So you absolutely can use a credit card for payments as well. I can show you that in the Q&A. This GUI right here is sort of the absolute easy mode to get quick events set up, but through the broader Unlock Protocol or Unlock Labs dashboard, you can get into set up credit cards as well. And we've got a couple of different ways to do that. One is through Stripe. So you yourself do need to be set up on Stripe in order to do that. We do have a partnership with the folks over at CrossMint as well. And with CrossMint, you've got a number of different credit card and international options as well. So it is available for you, and it's through the Unlock dashboard. And again, it is similarly all point and click. So with that, we are all set up. So let's go, and we just created an event page. So let's go take a peek at that. And this is the page that we just set up. So everything that we just put in is here. We see it as a free event with 50 tickets. Folks can register here. Here's the location we put in, the date that we put in, the description that we put in. Another cool thing that we can do is we can really customize this landing page a little bit. We can actually put a banner on here. And so I'm going to go through and I'm going to set up this banner. The dimensions on the banner are 1400 by 300. So we're going to get that set up, and that's going to upload that for us. And then we're going to say save. And we've got that all set up as well. So at this point, with this URL right here, and I just realized I put the dash in the wrong place. Sorry. We've got a landing page set up for the event. That's all it took in order to do that. Now, you as an event organizer have the opportunity to do a number of different things. So once you're here, you've got all of the sort of attendee experience things, but then you yourself can do a number of things. So you can send this URL, obviously, to anyone. So if you do a copy URL, it will take this, copy it to the clipboard, and then you can send that to anybody. There are a whole host of different email options that you can go through as well. And so with emails, you can go through, you can send emails to your attendees. This is one of the cool things that you can do is actually, if you go in and you go into the details on this one, not only can you toggle whether emails can be sent or not, you can actually customize the reply to, so the email responses from the attendees come back to you, and you can set the sender name and such. So that is a cool feature that you can do there. There are some templates for these emails as well. So you go through and you can put in what's going to be in the body of those emails that get sent. This will be when somebody is purchasing or claiming an email. This is what they are going to see in the middle of the email when they get it. If you are airdropping, and again, you can airdrop the tickets to any of your attendees. So if you want to, pre-screen people or things like that, and then only airdrop to the folks who are pre-screened, you can do that as well. You can actually see all of the, you can send a custom email. So about an hour ago, I sent everybody who was registered a email actually using the system as well with the link to the webinar information. So you should have gotten that hopefully. And then you can also see all of your folks who have signed up. And then if you do want to do verification for tickets at the door, you can do that as well. And you can even, instead of using this set up and built for you landing page, which is obviously the easiest way to do things, if you do want to embed a checkout experience on your own site, you can set up a checkout as well. And so just want to do a quick check now. If you do have any questions on this portion of what we're doing, definitely feel free to throw those in the chat. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop back and I'm going to talk through a little bit more of what the attendee experience is. So once someone has claimed and actually let me jump back over there just for a sec. So when somebody comes to this page, what they can do is they can register. And again, all they need to do by default is put in their email address and their name, and they will be registered for the event at that point. If they want that ticket dropped directly into their wallet, they can do that as well. And so that is really the only set of things that they need to set up in order to RSVP. So those are the things that the attendee will see when they come to this landing page. And then additionally, when they put in their email, not only are they going to, go here, they're going to fill things out, but then they will get an email with just the background information. And again, when we were looking at that configuration, you are able to say what everything in this box is going to say for your event. And then when folks show up at the event, they will have a QR code. You can either scan that, and you can actually scan that with any phone. If you signed up for this webinar and you look in your email and you expand that QR code that you got, you can just aim your cell phone at it right now and you can see what the experience looks like. And then if you do want to do check-in to make sure that people aren't coming in who shouldn't be there, especially if you're doing a paid event, can talk through how to set up verification and such as well. So those are really the main things that we have in the interface to set things up. I do want to make sure that anybody who is jumping on has a chance to get all of their questions answered. So if you do have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Other thing that I want to talk about is post-event engagement. So one of the magical things that happens when you actually bring an event on chain is those tickets become the membership card to a much wider community. So post-event, we have seen folks set up Telegram channels. We have seen folks set up guild groups using guild.xyz, if you're familiar with that tool. We have seen DAOs set up things using Charmverse and a number of other capabilities as well. So those types of things you can use for conversations, for groups, for meetups. If you have other assets from the event, if you have videos, if it's a live event where you're doing panel discussions and things like that, and you want the assets from that particular event only available to folks who are at the event, those tickets are the way you do that. So you can check to see if somebody has a ticket, and either in your website, or again, if you've got a private community set up that is token gated using Unlock and one of these other systems like Telegram or Discord, or Guild, or any of those types of systems, you're able to do that. And so you can actually keep things going. Also, you have an on-chain record of who was at the event, because you'll know who got a ticket. If you are using the verifier and you're checking folks in, you'll be able to know who actually showed up. You're going to be able to reach out to those folks because you do have their contact information as well. That was part of the onboarding process. And so with that, you have, and again, we went through this in like 20 minutes, the end-to-end experience of all it takes to set up a side event ticketing experience to bring those tickets on chain. Again, do recommend using one of the L2s for doing that. So do it with Arbitrum, do it with Optimism, do it with Base, do it with Polygon, do it with one of those L2s, because it'll be very straightforward in order to do it. While you're testing things, definitely feel free to do it with Gurley and the like. And with that, let's see, one of the questions here, I'm just looking at one of the questions Alex asks, can you set up a timed post-event message? We don't have the ability to set a timed one right now, but you do have the ability to go in and send post-event to that list of folks who did sign up. So it's not automated. We don't have a cron job running or anything like that, but you do have the ability to send out just to the folks who attended. And you've got, again, that entire list of the folks who are there. So want to make sure that folks have access to all the different resources in the broader Unlock universe as well. So I just want to make sure that everybody is aware of all of these tools that are out there. So if you are going to set up an event, you can just go to events.unlock-protocol.com. And with that, it is very straightforward to bring your ETHDenver side event on chain. So definitely hit that up, check it out, try it out. We've got a wide variety of different online resources for folks as well. So walkthroughs, tutorials, all sorts of videos. And actually, I said earlier in the call, we've got a shorter version of this video set up as well that's on the tutorial site. So if you're a visual learner, and that is the way that you really connect with and understand how to do things, we've got a number of things that are set up on the Unlock YouTube channel. We've got many implementation guides set up as well. And so if you go to unlock-protocol.com/guides, these are set up more for, let's call it everyday users. These are not deep technical docs, and I'll get to that in just a sec, but everything that you would need to do everything we talked about today, there actually is there are a number of different event ticketing guides up on that guide site. So you can definitely check that out as well. Really mission control for day-to-day questions, Q&A, and the like is the Unlock Discord. So if you go to discord.unlock-protocol.com, that's the place where members of the community as well as the core team are there pretty much 24/7, because this is a global project. So that is definitely the place to ask questions as you are going through and setting up implementations and such. And then if you are doing things like building Unlock into the particular solutions that you are creating, or if you're working at a hackathon or things like that, we do have very deep technical docs and tutorials. And I mentioned at the top of the call, the folks over at Protocol Labs and Lab Week used Unlock ticketing extensively for Lab Week at DevConnect Istanbul. This was the way they did things. So they built out, if you go to 23.labweek.io, they had set up an entire universe of all of their different dozens and dozens of side events, all of which were using the Unlock Protocol infrastructure for ticketing, but they went and, because it is an open source project, used the underlying technology and built it into their own experience because that was what worked out best for them. So again, if you're doing any of those types of things around ticketing, but any of the other types of use cases as well, everything from memberships, subscriptions, certifications, and the like, those are the types of things that if you're building out your own solution and need that capability, this is where you would go to find the resources to plug into that. So with that, let's go. And if there are any questions, I will hang here, on open mic for a couple of minutes. If there are any things that I can answer, feel free to throw them in the chat, and I'll just hang out for a couple of minutes here. If there are any questions, definitely feel free to fire away, and I can answer that. Otherwise, we will wrap for the day. Okay, Mira, thank you very much. Appreciate that. So with that, if you do have any questions, again, feel free to reach out in the Discord. If you want to reach out to me directly, I am C Carfy, that's CCARFI on all the things. Thank you so much for taking some time this morning slash afternoon slash evening, depending on where you are on the planet. And definitely feel free, if you are going to be doing a side event at ETHDenver, hop over, go to events.unlock-protocol.com. You can actually set those things up very easily, and we'll see you on chain. Take care.